There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the sixth edition of Phoenix Literature Festival Junior, presented to you by Skills Factory and powered by Schools of Creativity. Tech partner Search My Tenders, associate partner Storytelling Hub, and academic partners Revival Mastery. We are here with three of our panelists for a very interesting discussion on increasing importance of creativity in the age of AI. Let me start by welcoming our three participants. Mr. Aditya Gautam, who joins us from Australia. He's a content creator, a writer, and a stand-up comedian. Himanshu Jhamb, who is a data scientist with 5 years of experience. He's currently with the OLX, and in his spare times loves to dance and read. And then we have Mr. Sarbajeet Das, who's the founding artistic director of Theatre on Your Own, a theatre personality amongst us. I welcome you all, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thanks,
So,
Aanandika.
shall we dive into it right away? Creativity in the age of AI.
Yeah,
Yes,
totally.
sure.
So, to begin with, I think let's start with Himanshu, who can enlighten us on AI.
Sure, it has become an hype these days, right? You must have heard about a lot of AI tools coming these days, disrupting the marketplace, seeing the likes of ChatGPT, Perplexity, Bard. Like, it has really helped us driving innovation. So we are in the good age, good technical age, and I really look forward to this discussion where all three of us from different backgrounds share our point of views.
Fantastic. Yes, that is what we are here for, to find out how creativity in this age of AI, where replication has become a child's play, how creativity helps you stand out. So, Aditya and Sarabjeet, I'm going to address this question to both of you. Both of you are people from the creative realm. What do you have to say on this? How does creativity, how does being a creative person help you stand out in today's day and time where artificial intelligence rules the roost?
I think for any kind of mechanical process that happens in a artificial intelligence device or a robot or anything, the important aspect for them is database. They get things from a database. Now, database is populated with data. The important part for any industry has to is what is the data that is put in the database. So things that are repetitive, things that are needed to be done again and again in the process is the data that is put. That's the information. Whether it's your name, whether it's your style of working, whether it's your phone number, that goes to the device, and the device does really well when it is a predictable approach, because they can beat the human being, because we get tired and they don't know, they don't, so they can do things faster and for a longer time when it is predictable. But we are, as human beings, are good when things are unpredictable. So that's where we kind of beat the system or a mechanism that is designed. So the collaboration, whether it's a healthcare field or whether it's a creativity field, the collaboration and the integration, I see on a personal perspective, is gonna take this civilization to a better space, and that is what the human mind has always wanted, because we are curious people. We wake up with the curiosity to do something, else we'll get bored and kill each other. So the curiosity will always remain in the society, and the growth of artificial intelligence device and all these things that we talk about will always happen. What we should channel our energy in understanding from a fundamental level is how do we collaborate, and that challenge is the learning curve that both the device and we have to embed within us, and that is the holistic view that I see it as a very positive movement, with a lot of careful considerations that we as human beings have to take care, because we are kind of the parents for
Hmm.
these devices. Today we are talking
Hmm.
through this virtual medium is also
Hmm.
because there was a curious mind who thought that this is needed, and the life becomes
Hmm.
easier, isn't it?
Hmm.
So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Aditya?
Yeah, I think Sarbajeet is spot on. There's obviously element of collaboration. This is obviously this. I'm guessing this is going to be watched by kids, a lot of kids. So the firstly, in kids watching this is obviously we have to first acknowledge all as grown-ups that we are. I don't think we're living in the world of AI. They will be living in the world of AI. I think it's just a baby step right now. We've just
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
dabbling in that idea. Most of us, honestly, most humans right now haven't even interacted at a very deep level with any, like anything that would be considered genuine AI yet. But yeah, I guess in the next 5, 10 years, we will be living in a world. These kids, when they are growing up, will definitely be living in a world of AI. And what does creativity how creativity plays a part there. Sarabjit is right. It has to be sort of an integration sort of thing. But I think creativity will. Firstly, it's kind of safe to assume that our idea of what creativity even is will completely change in the next 10 years.
Hmm.
Whatever we think it is right now, whatever we've thought it is in the past, will have to change because what we're about to see in the next 10, 15 years, this is really, really intelligent machines, almost thinking like humans. It has never happened before. Till now, I think what Sarabjit was driving at, that there's been a clear distinction between what machines can do, what humans can do. But I think
Hmm.
that the ideas in the next 10, 15 years, that starts blurring more and more and more, right? Like with Chat GPT, there's sometimes you're like, are you, man, this does not, like some of the answers, most of the times you can go, okay, this is a machine saying it, but some answers kind of blow your mind and you're like, man, this is really cool. Like, this is amazing that a machine is giving me these answers, and
Hmm.
that will keep blurring, right? The next 15 years it'll probably be blurred to a point that there will be no way for most of us to tell if it's a machine or a human giving answers to questions. And then what happens to creativity? How do we think about creativity? I think we'll have to rethink uh, what creativity is. Yeah, that's like the basic idea. I think we'll have to rethink it.
So Himanshu, would you like to step in here and tell us more about this seemingly blurring line between what a machine can do and what AI can do, and how far do you think, or do you think it is already happening? Are we there, or is it still far in the distance? Are we safe? Say, or the coming generations, they'll of course they'll probably have a closer relationship with the machine than probably we have. So, what do you think? Give us your technical perspective.
Sure. So I
Or
would say we
not
have.
technical. Let me correct myself. The technological perspective.
Sure, sure. So I would say that we have come very far in this
Mm-hmm.
space, seeing that. So let's understand how these machines work behind the hood, right? So you provide data, right? And the machines learn from that data. And one of the algorithms that I would talk about is generative adversarial networks, where
Mm-hmm.
what we do is we provide a realistic or a real image, and the machine learns
Hmm.
by randomly generating few pixels, or for example, if we have given a image,
Hmm.
the machine itself learns or creates synthetic data in order
Hmm.
to mimic what is the real and what is the fake,
Hmm.
right, image. So in that process, we are actually learning how to mimic a real image, and in
Hmm.
this way the machines are learning, right? So we have come a very far in this space.
Hmm.
We have seen a lot of infrastructure building up which has helped us training these algorithms, because these algorithms takes a huge amount of data, and this
Hmm.
has a lot of applications in the real world. For example, I would say if you want to generate images, it
Hmm.
can help you build prototypes, which can save you massive amount of money on photo shoots, for example, right?
Time. Yeah. Yeah.
The second example I would like to share is, for example, uh, since in the healthcare industry, we don't have a lot of data to learn from, right? So, for
Hmm.
example, if a person has suffered from a cancer,
Hmm.
that amount of population is really less, right? And in order to learn this pattern that suffers from cancer or is a person suffering from a cancer or not, we need a
Hmm.
lot of data. And in this case, these network helps us to generate synthetic data, which helps machine learning models to scale up really, really well, right?
Hmm.
So there are a lot of applications that I see, and
Hmm.
I won't deny the fact that you still need a human.
Hmm.
It won't be the case that the artificial intelligence would replace humans. So there is always human centric AI that would
Hmm.
be in the place in order to better run them. So
Hmm.
I think that we are very far from that age that only artificial human or robots are going to drive our world. So that
Run.
is
Yeah.
still very far.
Okay. Okay. I think I found something very interesting in what you said. Mimicry. So we are well aware that mimicry तभी हो सकती है when there is already something that can be mimicked or mimed,
Exactly.
in that sense. So again, coming back to and the fact that that Aditya mentioned that this is aimed at children, and we have to be considerate of the fact that they will be tomorrow stepping into the world and taking up these roles, whether they are creative roles, whether they're going to use, exploit, elaborate, or upgrade technology. What do you think, how do you think, we can ensure that this line between human creativity and this replication of data, replication of things, replication of images, this is not crossed, in the sense that not everything becomes static, in that sense that it's, for example, chat gpt, you gave an example of chat gpt. It's now very easy. Everybody just thinks that if they just put in some prompts into the feeder, they will have the work done. How do you think we can like um, avoid getting caught in this thing? Because what will happen if we allow this to flourish, I don't think there will be any standard work that will get done. It will just be replication. It will just keep replicating, and you know well, that's useful, as Sarabjeet said, as far as things such as which require labor are concerned. I don't think that is feasible or that is appreciable for every aspect of our life and existence. Any one of
Yeah,
you is welcome to take on it.
I would really like to highlight the fact that there should be some regulations or responsible AI into the place,
Mhm.
because if that is not the case, there would be chatbots killing each other, right? For example, if you would say taking an online test, right? And
Hmm.
that test is generated by an AI, and the answers are also generated by an AI. So in the end, the chatbots are competing with each other. So has to be some regulations or responsible AI that should generate some policies in
Hmm.
order to better use them, right? And
That's a
Also, I
that's
won't.
a very good
Hima-
example, Himanshu. But I
Nobody.
think the problem with that example is that um, tests don't really have a lot of scope for creativity. I think I think let's talk about creativity in places such as art.
I
Or
think what
probably Aditya can
Hima-
speak about. Sorry.
I think what Himanshu just said probably
Hmm.
got every kid very excited about the as
The test.
prospect
Yeah.
of chatbots giving their tests. It's like, this sounds great. We need more of this.
Himanshu's popularity is going to go high soon after this.
Yeah, I myself have done a lot of hacks by, let's say, if I have an interview and I have given an interview problem, I would rather solve this through few prompts rather than reinventing the wheel and taking a lot of time myself, right? So this has helped me in some scenarios, but it is not the good scenario for the upcoming generations where there has to be learning, right?
There has
At
to be
this.
experience in learning. Very, very true. Very true. There needs to be a foundation on which they can use the technology to further build up. What do you think, Aditya?
Yeah, I was just going to answer just with going by your question that how do we make sure that create things like creativity are not becoming repetitive. I think the one they would is probably it is going to become repetitive. Firstly, that's going to be the natural outcome of this. There will, like I write some blogs as well for a company, and it's just becoming so easy to write a blog now. There is very little effort needed. So the obvious outcome of that will be there will be so many more blogs that are very well written about every topic out there. So, but what that would do is that would inherently make the value of blogs worthless. So
Yes.
hence we will have to then come up with something else. So people, like, as soon as something becomes repetitive and
It loses
it'll lose its value. So it's
chance.
not something we have to worry about. It will happen. No one can stop it from happening. But then I
Okay.
think as far as creativity is concerned, what we'll have to do is to stand out. We will just have to be creative in ways that stand out. Like, for example, I was thinking about it that I think one thing with comedy, there was this guy in Australia who did this experiment. He got Chat GPT to write down a joke for him, like a 3-4 minute joke, and
Okay.
he went to this really big club with like 150 people in it, and he read out the whole joke. Uh, without stopping, and he bombed for 4 minutes. Nobody laughed for 4 minutes. There was pin drop silence because it was just not. It was the text. When you read it, you could see that the joke was structured very well, and it made sense. But it was not funny because people don't laugh at funny words; they laugh at funny emotions. And if they can see if someone what they're saying it, if they mean it or not, and if there's an emotion behind it or not. So like I'm sure Sarabjeet could get on stage and just read out a script written by Chat GPT, and people will start leaving midway, unless you're on in theater, in comedy, unless there is emotion behind it, and emotion has to come from a human being, right? You can't remove that. You can't, at least not anytime soon. You can't make
Right.
that through a machine. Yeah.
So, Sarabjeet, the ball is in your court. Have you ever been cheeky enough to read a script written by ChatGPT? With or without emotion, we will go with this first, and then we will come to the truth. With or without emotion, so you can be truthful about it here.
I think creative people are way hardworking and way passionate and way unpredictable in terms of their moods. See,
Please,
this is
बस ये बंद कर दो, तालियां बजा दो इसके लिए सब लोग.
I mean, somebody who walks
Please.
past a national school of drama, they will always see एक कप चाय पी के कितना करना पड़ता है. So I mean, those are the emotional part. I mean, that has nothing to do with art. I think, as I said, the predictability part, when that is set in a device, it can function much better and much longer and much faster than human beings. So if with creativity, with arts and all, it's more settled, it's more slower, it's more pure, I would say, that and it is very unpredictable, predictable to take a step-by-step action. So there are templates. For example, if I give a short example of writing a love story, whether it's films, considering we are from Bollywood inspired hearts, so love stories are there's a plethora of love stories available. There's a plethora of love stories written in novels. There are a plethora of love stories written in plays. So everything has a template. Like one gender gets attracted to one gender, and there is a problem by the society or by someone or by the situation or something. So if you put them as data, there are probably millions of permutation combination that can be created. Now we as human beings know that there is nothing original. We create a template and we try to build around it in a very interesting way. Now if you feed those millions of information to a device, that will function and that will create the maximum permutation combination that is possible, and they can create a story around it following the same template. So you will see a love story. Okay. So that is what it is good at. It is gonna give you a love story which will feel like a love story because you have been seeing that kind of story and it is following a template. So it's never gonna fail. It's like आजकल हम रंगोली बनाते हैं तो एक मिल जाता है ना, तो हम उसमें बस कलर ऊपर से ऐसे डालते हैं और निकाल दो, रंगोली बन गया, हैप्पी दिवाली. Okay, so that is what the device is gonna do. But the interesting part is that is also pushing the creative people to think out of the box more and more rapidly. Okay, because जब अपने पे बन आती है, जब साइक्लोन समंदर अपने घर के पास आता है, तो हम भी भागने के लिए तैयार होते हैं या फिर कूदने के लिए तैयार होते हैं या फिर छत पे जाने के लिए तैयार होते हैं. So that is right. So it keeps the creative people, whether they are young or they are experienced, it keeps the creative people on their toes to think out of the box, and that is something that human beings can do. We can think out of the box, and I think it's a, as I said, if the collaboration is good, it is a very positive thing where we will be on our toes because we will not fall in the trap of predictability. Okay, right, our stories, right. our approach, our work ethics, everything will get improved. And we also need to see that this is not going to stop. Whether we four talk over here or millions of people talk about it, this is going to happen and this is going to grow. So just the way computers came to our lives from calculators, just the way internet came to our life from books. Okay, we first approach them as kids or as young minds with positivity that these are the things that are going to improve, because the intention, the intention of bringing anything new is always good. It's like whether it's internet or whether it's computer or whether it's anything, but true. there are concerns that slowly and steadily we start seeing, and there is always going to be a concern. But if the approach is to see that this is the horizon, it's opening, what we got to work on is how far can we be afraid of the concern, or can we avoid that concern, can we keep the concern so that we can move in the positive direction. If there are hurdles, we'll try to bypass them. Okay, so that in creative world, I think it is impacting storytelling in the world of film more rapidly than theater as of now, because film is a more money making market, and the writers are always underpaid and respected less in the industry. And today it becomes horrible for them because their predictable pattern is now fed into the device, and they feel like they're going to be as I said, anything new, we approach it with a very positive ideology that this is there to help us. But the concern needs to be spoken, the concern needs to be countered, the concern needs to be brought on the table, and we have to understand how far we are more present with a device which is constantly listening and learning from us. So we cannot be unconscious and just let go. That way we will lose our control over anything.
Like it has been said that machines are better servants than they are masters. I think what Sarbajeet has very rightly pointed out is the fact that AI somehow has gotten us to push our boundaries as creative people, because I can put the same kind of input into a device and somebody else can give it the same kind of device, but then it remains for me to see how do I make it different, how do I make it how do I excel in creating an impact with what I have. So I think we can conclude that AI can do the basic groundwork for us. It can do the grunt work for us in that sense. But eventually, it is your own lived experiences, your own feelings, emotions, what you faced. Because I'm sure AI is incapable of feeling heartbreak and heartache. And it can never bring in that deep emotion to anything that it might be able to replicate or create, which is, I think, gives me a lot of hope. Any last words on the topic? Creativity, AI, and the way to stand out and apart from the crowd.
I guess something you pointed out would be like, just for anyone young wanting to do creative work, the best place to start would be from what you pointed at is your own lived experience and your own go with being honest. That's something I keep reminding myself. We all like everyone in comedy keeps reminding themselves that you have to be very honest on stage. The more honest you are, the more you connect with the audience, the more unique you will end up being, because you are unique. Every human is very unique, just by the fact that we all have different experiences.
Yes.
Even two twins have a different experience of the world.
They see the
So
world entirely differently.
exactly. So be very, very honest, and that is bound to connect with someone. And don't try to please everyone. Don't try to connect with everyone. That's bound to fail. Just be honest. You'll connect with at least someone. Yeah.
I think that gives me another point, that authenticity rules. If you're coming from an authentic place, doesn't matter if you have AI at your disposal or you're doing all the groundwork yourself. If you're authentically invested in creating that piece, whether it is an art piece or whether it is writing a program, as far as Himanshu is concerned, I think you'll do pretty fine. Yes.
Yeah, I think for young minds, considering the internet is so readily available, and plethora of information, and plethora of influencers, unqualified influencers are available today, and everything is on your fingertip. I think the insecurity in young minds creep in very easily. Because when you see 20 beautiful people on your screen, 20 millionaires living a lavish life, or 50 people showing six-pack abs and beautiful makeup skills, as a young mind who is learning the world, they become very insecure instead of being inspired. They get confused because so much options. And so I think as more and more we feed into the young mind, that as Aditya said, that will understand that you're unique, understand that you're bringing something to the world. You have no idea what is your purpose. That is what you slowly learn. But
you arrive at it eventually.
Yeah. So it is only you who can take the step forward or hang on to something and move. So that authenticity and the strong belief in yourself will reduce the insecurity. And when you're a secure person, you're more attractive, you're more confident, and your vibes radiate. So even the artificial intelligent device who is making you a little insecure, you have to understand that is on your side. That is playing on your side. You just have to feel a little secure around it, and accept the reality. Okay, because when you start accepting your reality, the surrounding will start learning from you better. And it is very important for young minds. I mean, adults are all messed up, so I'm not able to. I don't think I can correct them.
Well said. Well said.
the young minds can learn something better.
Yes. I think again another valuable point coming up through this is the fact that it needs to be reinforced into the youngsters that the technology is an asset. Of course, there will always be a debate on how much of it should be given into young hands, and whether it should be monitored, whether it should be allowed to experiment and learn from it. But I think what remains at the base of it is that even if technology steps up, in whichever way the future will only tell, what remains important is the fact that it cannot compensate or it cannot replace your living. It can tell you what 20 influencers are doing, but what you are doing day to day is what makes up your life. Their lives, of course, are their lives, but then young minds see it, and very impressionable children. I have a 9-year-old and a 15-year-old. I know how impressionable children are and how quickly, one day they're influenced by this thing, the next day it's something else, the third day it's more. So yeah, whatever technology might bring to their doorstep, I think it remains very important for them and the adults around them to ensure that it is not taking over the reality of their life, their existence. Yeah.
And we
Sure.
should not deny the fact that AI can help us,
Hmm.
bring
Hmm.
experiences or help us have some experiences in good way. For example, I will share an example of AI generated Coca-Cola. So
Coca-Cola. Okay.
yeah, so there has been a formula or
Hmm.
the soda generated by an AI, which has been into the commercial market, where they have tested this product, where this cola or soda
Hmm.
was generated
Hmm.
by an AI. So what the algorithm did was they tried to learn, or the algorithms tried to learn what are the flavor preferences of the customers, right?
Okay.
And based on this content, AI tried to learn how or a particular soda would be liked, right? And this is how a particular soda was generated, and it was being published into the market as a MVP, and it has done really good. It has given people experiences that how the futuristic cola would look like, right?
Okay.
So this has helped us people giving experiences. If I talk about the experience of
Hmm.
virtual reality, right?
Hmm.
People can go to the places where they haven't been to, especially in the
Right.
corona time where they were stuck at their homes. This has
Hmm.
helped people give experiences. So we should not deny the fact that it can help us bringing
Yeah.
experiences into our life as well.
That's right. That's right. I think during COVID, and COVID has in that way, somehow responsible for hastening the arrival of the AI age, so as to say, because COVID made it so much important for everything to be done virtually. Otherwise, the world would have come to a complete standstill. And COVID also showed us so many different ways in which AI and machine learning came to our rescue. The studies that were done on the patients, the work that was done, especially in the medical field, and I'm personally aware of the vast amount of data that was used from all across the world to create the vaccines and things like that. I think you're very right in saying that yes, we cannot deny the fact that one, it is going to stay whether we talk about it or not talk about it. Two, it is important to underline the fact for young minds that this is on their side. Three, for adults, it is their responsibility to ensure that the young people are aware of the ins and outs, uh, about how to responsibly and how to ethically leverage technology, whether it is artificial intelligence or whether tomorrow it is something else. uh, it is up to them to teach, probably, and teach by example rather than just by yapping all the time. Teach by example how and how much of technology to be used. I think we can call it a wrap on the session. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us and sharing your thoughts and viewpoints on the topic. It was lovely meeting you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Aanandika. It was really
Thank
nice.
you for your time. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.